We've had a couple of fairly fast-moving developments, the most recent of which has just come out. This from the government's legal department, Sadia.
Yes, and this would be the fourth time that this case goes before a High Court judge. So it's being sent back to the Family Division of the High Court, and I understand it's being sent to an out-of-hours duty judge who's expected to respond within hours. He's been asked to look at this and take into consideration urgent consideration. Now, it would be interesting to know what grounds the court will look at this in, because all of this comes after a UN intervention late on Friday under Articles 10 and 12 of the UN Convention of the Rights of Persons with Disabilities. The family had made that application on behalf of Archie Battersbee, and the UN had imposed an injunction, a non-binding, but an injunction nevertheless, on Britain, requesting that Britain does not withdraw treatment as is ordered by the British courts on the hospital trust. Now, that became very tricky for the British government because, it seems like uncharted territory. Legal experts that we've spoken to have said that something like this has never happened. The UN has never imposed an injunction like this on Britain in such a case. Perhaps indicative of how tricky it was is that it took the government roughly 24 hours to come back to us with a statement just to acknowledge that they'd received that letter. So we suspect that there was some work to be done to figure out what this means. And as I say, completely uncharted, but also very tricky because this case has been through 3 High Court hearings already, 2 appearances at the Court of Appeal and once at the Supreme Court, which is the highest appeals court for civil cases in the UK. So it seems that the case has exhausted all legal options in the UK, and so for it to now be sent back to the High Court is very interesting. But also it's interesting because the latest judgment we had was in a case about best interests. What is in Archie's best interests? And the UNCRPD, which is the convention under which the UN has intervened, Article 7 of that says that best interests have to be the primary concern, but of course that's already been done in a British court. So it'll be really interesting to see how the High Court progresses with this. But a decision has to be made, and it has to be made very fast because the current order is for treatment to be withdrawn by 2 p.m. tomorrow. And the Trust have so far told us that they plan to go ahead with that, and that it is unlawful for them to continue treating Archie beyond that point. And so they're waiting for a court order to tell them what to do. But that decision needs to come very quickly, and we expect there may be a hearing tomorrow.